please. Good evening, friends. On behalf of Arva Yoga and Kriya Yoga Institute, it is my pleasure and honor to welcome Swami Atmavidyananda Giri to continue his discourse on the Yoga Philosophy series. Today's topic is Vedic perspective of ecology. Last several months, Swamiji has been educating us on various aspects of yoga, and we will have 4 more discourses after this by Swamiji on yoga philosophy. Swami Atmavidyananda Ji is a senior monk of the Kriya Yoga lineage and a vice president of the Kriya Yoga Institute. Kriya Yoga lineage started from Mahavatar Babaji Maharaj, continued through Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, Paramahansa Hariharananda Ji, and continues through the current living master Paramahansa Pragyanananda Ji. Swami Atmavidyananda Ji has been teaching spirituality and especially Kriya Yoga for almost 20 years. He gives lectures on Kriya Yoga, initiates seekers into Kriya Yoga, teaches and guides Kriya Yoga meditations in North and South America, Europe, Australia, and Asia. Next week, he will be going to the UK, Netherlands, Poland, and Austria. Returning from that trip, we are fortunate that he will be conducting Kriya Yoga initiation and training program in the Philadelphia area on September 27, 28, and 29. More information will be posted on the Arva Yoga website, but those of you who are listening, I would highly recommend you take advantage of this opportunity. Swamiji is also an expert in astrology, Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, Eastern and Western scriptures, and a little secret to share with you all. Swamiji sings devotional songs and bhajans with a classical touch. He may surprise us with a gift of his singing sometime during his discourses. Well, one never knows. And here is Swami Atmavidyananda Giri on Vedic perspective of ecology. Swamiji.
Thank you, Suresh Baba. Let us close the eyes for a moment, remembering all pervading divinity, all the masters. Let us begin this class with a prayer. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Divine protect us all. May the Divine nourish us with wisdom. May we meditate and pray together. May there be no discord among us. May there be more love, peace, and harmony everywhere and within. Om, Amen. I bow to one formless God. I bow to all the saints and sages of all times and places. I humbly bow to lineage of Kriya Yoga masters. I'm bowing to living presence of divine in each one of you. Good afternoon and good evening. Today's topic is Vedic perspective of ecology. In the present time, the environment and its protection has become a burning issue of discussion. What we see around the rapid industrialization, advancement of science and technology, increased population, urbanization, deforestation, and indiscriminate utilization of natural resources and other factors have caused environmental degradation, which has resulted in climate change, depletion of ozone layer, and loss of biodiversity, ultimately making an impact on entire life and life support system of the earth. A comprehensive solution may be brought by following ancient Vedic philosophy of conservation of environment and natural resources. The Vedas and disciplines of modern science are complementary, they are not contradictory. We are going through a very difficult phase of time in many parts of the world. The climate has changed abruptly and the life has become really difficult. In some countries recently, there's a heat wave. Some countries, they have gone so cold that it is difficult to stay. Remember, the creation and the human life, they are interdependent. The nature and human being, we have close connection. In our previous classes, we have discussed that when God created this universe, so he created the 5 gross elements, and then ultimately the human being came into existence. The human body is also made up of 5 gross elements. So if the natural elements are disturbed externally, it also disturbs the balance in our body. Our Vedic culture has taught us how to remain in harmony with the nature and live a perfect life of discipline. Our Vedas have several references on environmental protection, ecological balance, weather cycle, rain phenomena, hydraulic cycle, and related subjects that directly indicate the high level of awareness of our saints and the people of that time. Ancient treasures of vast knowledge reveal a full cognizance of the undesirable effects of environmental degradation, whether caused by natural factors or human activities. It was understood that well-being of Mother Earth depended on preservation and sustenance of the environment. The Rig Veda makes a clear reference to the presence of a protective layer, which we know as the ozone layer, that filters the harmful rays of the sun and protects the earth, and raises the radiation that enters the atmosphere that is responsible for the health of the environment. So there are a couple of mantras in Rig Veda which speak about this protective ozone layer. We respect and worship nature in the Vedic culture for 2 reasons. The first reason is that God pervades the creation. As we discussed before also, that when God created, he entered into his very creation in the form of breath or the prana. So God is all pervading and God is permeating this entire creation. So everything what we find in nature is the presence of God. And second thing that we worship, we respect the nature because we are indebted to nature, which is called Bhutarina. In our last class, we discussed 5 types of debts. So one is debt to the nature or environment, Bhutarina. if we think about the Vedic culture, what does it speak of? The 5 elements and ecology. So it is very interesting that Vedic saints and sages, they had very clear idea that if we keep a balance between the human body, our ecology, then we can live a healthy life, happy life, and we can reach the goal easily. So if we see the principles of Vedic culture, how the Vedic rishis, saints and sages, they observe and they saw this beautiful creation. Everything in Vedic culture, everything and being is permeated by prana or consciousness. And there are several mantras in the Upanishad which speak about this concept, which I will refer to you in the next slide. So everything is presence of God. That means creation and creator are the same. In Vedic culture also, to preserve the forces of nature, preserve the trees, forest, everything around us, they had, our saints and sages, they had personified everything. For example, the earth, rivers, cows, they're considered as the mothers. We cannot harm our mother. So when we consider these entities as mothers, we always respect and love them. In Vedic culture, there is also a mutual respect for the forces of nature by worshipping them as divine. That's why these 5 forces of nature, earth, water, fire, air, and space, they are very much part of our ceremonies. When we respect, we worship them, and also the directions, the deities of the directions who are protecting these. And in Vedic culture, there is no division of I and you, me or mine. Whenever there's division, there is always a separation. So Vedic culture also tells us or teaches us the attitude of gratitude for all. So whenever we have this attitude of gratitude, we can respect, we can love others, and we cannot complain. Because when we are grateful to someone, we cannot be having a complaining attitude. It is just opposite. So this is the Vedic culture, and let's discuss. So in Vedic culture, as everything and being is permeated by prana, we can understand it by a simple example. When we generate electricity or power, so it is, let's say that it is generated by the water. So there is a dam, we store the water, and through a process, we generate electricity. So all this power, it is having a generating plant. And from that generating station, it is transferred to the transformer. Then through the transformer, it goes further. And when we take it down, so the same power, it is supplied to our industries, our houses. Even in the modern time, we see the trains, buses, we all use this power. Then same power, when it is little bit more change the voltage, then it is supplied to our residential houses, the small agricultural equipments, and so on. So as the generation plant is one, and then it is further power, it is distributed. So also the prana, when we say God, so God is like a generating plant. And from that, slowly the manifestation or at different level, the distribution of this power or the consciousness. So pure consciousness is further permeating at different level in each everything and being, and then it is manifested at different level because of different vibration. So Mundak Upanishad tells a beautiful mantra, Prano hi eshah sah yah sarvabhute vibhati. Prano hi eshah yah sarvabhute vibhati means truly this, it is the life that shines forth in all beings. You can say this prana or the pure consciousness is pervaded. It's pervading or permeated in all the living beings. So whatever we see, it is none but the presence of prana. And this prana we can feel with the breath. And further, if we go with this concept, the Ishavasya Upanishad, which is the part of Yajurveda, the first mantra in this Upanishad tells about oneness, that all pervading divinity. The mantra says, Om Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha ma gradha kasya svidhanam. In this universe, whatever exists, whether moving or non-moving, is pervaded by God. Therefore, find your enjoyment in renunciation. Do not covet for the wealth of others. So everything which is given to us, it is a gift from God, and everything is presence of God. Because prana is moving, whether it is moving, not moving, everything is God. And my master used to say that there is no non-God. So when we say, if we look at this mantra, it gives the essence of our Sanatan Dharma or eternal religion. That everything is God for us. That's why you see the mountain is worshipped. We also worship the rivers, we worship the trees, we worship the cow, we worship sun and moon. Everything is not a separate entity, but it is the same prana, same presence of God is existing for us. This universal consciousness, again, if you go to the Rig Veda, in the 10th mandala, mantra number 90, it says, Sa bhumim vishvato vratva. The universe is none but the body of cosmic being, and it is called Virata Purusha. It is mentioned in the Purusha Sukta when we do Guru Paduka Puja, or when we give consecrated bath in the temples also, we chant this Vedic hymn to cosmic being. It says, Sa bhumim vishvato vratva, means from the earth up to the heaven. Everything is covered by the power of God. So consciousness pervades everything. Same concept you'll find that in Holy Bhagavatam. It is in the 11th book. Kham vayum agnim salilam mahimcha jyotishim sattvani dishodrumadin sarit samudransya hare shariram yatkincha bhutam pranamed ananya. With exclusive devotion, he bows to the sky, air, fire, water, earth, heavenly bodies like stars and planets. That is Jyotishim. Living beings, cardinal points, trees and the like, rivers and the seas, and all created being, considering them as the body of the Lord. So whatever is existing, it is presence of divine. That is what is universal consciousness. And in the path of yoga especially, what we do, our individual consciousness, which is part and parcel of the same divinity, we try to unite with that. So, our cosmic consciousness and individual consciousness become one. And that is the state of union. We call it yoga. Sorry. Now we'll go a little bit more further in detail about this topic. Consciousness pervades everything. Now let's talk about first the Prithvi or the earth. This earth is the presence of divine. How does it matter for us? When we say there are some mantras to respect this earth. I remember as a child, my parents taught me some mantras, and these are the mantras which speak about respecting the earth as the mother. In Atharva Veda, the 12th mandala, there is a mantra, Mata Bhumi Putro Aham Prathivyaha. That means earth is the mother and all the plants, animals, humans are her children. So if I am existing, I'm existing because of, not just because of my own bodily mother, but also this mother earth is sustaining my life. In the childhood, my parents told me to look, when we get up in the morning, we look at the palms and we chant this mantra. The mantra is Samudravasane Devi Parvatastana Mandale Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam Padasparsham Kshamaswame. The simple meaning is that, O Mother Earth, I am touching you with my feet. So it is like I'm kicking you. So I'm touching you with my feet. It may hurt you. So please forgive me. Can you imagine that Earth, Mother Earth is sustaining the life, all the rare metals, all the food, all prosperity comes from the Mother Earth. And we are enjoying that. Even Mother Earth is, sustaining means all our weight, it is on Mother Earth. But Mother Earth never complains. That's why one name of Earth is Kshama. Kshama means forgiveness. So from the Mother Earth, just think that when we are digging, so it is digging means it is like hurting the Mother Earth. Also, when we are doing some excavation and doing mining, so again it is hurting Mother Earth. But Mother Earth is not complaining. She's always giving us all, all prosperity. In Yajurveda, we also chant a mantra about Mother Earth. Om Bhurasi Bhumirasi Aditi Rasi Vishwadhaya Vishwasya Bhuvanasya Dhartri Prathivim Yacha Prathivim Brahma Prathivim Mahimsihi. The beautiful mantra says that, O Prajapati, O the Creator, you are the bestower of happiness like earth and holding the universe like Aditi. You are the sustainer of the entire world. Please have grace on the earth and make it prosperous. And the beautiful word at the end is Prathivim Ma Himsi, means may there be no violence on the earth. These are the Vedic prayers, and this is the perspective of Veda about the ecology, especially the Mother Earth. So this is just about the earth. Now let's think about the next element, which is water. It is said that water is the life. A person can live without food for a few days, but without water cannot sustain longer. And water is also considered as the presence of divine. So in most of our Vedic mantras, in Atharva Veda, in Rig Veda, we chant the mantras praising the god of water, Varuna. So one mantra in Rig Veda, 10th mandal, it says, Om Shanno Devi Ravhishtaya Apo Bhavantu Pitaye Shanyor Bhisravantu Naha. What does it mean? Sham is the auspiciousness. Sham also peace. May the divine water be auspicious and pleasant for us to drink. Apa bhavantu pitaye. May that auspiciousness which is there flow in us. So when we drink water, so let that auspiciousness and peace, calmness enter us, and let it come to us from all directions. So this is about water element, earth, then water. We respect and worship. Now think that if we really respect water as the presence of God, as the life force, how can we waste it? So we need to preserve it. And another mantra, there is a scripture, we call it Vraksha Ayurveda. So mantra number 5, it tells, Dasha Kupa Samavapi, Dasha Vapi Samohradaha, Dasha Hrada Samahaputro, Dasha Putro Samodrumaha. Now let's come to the Vraksha, or you can say the trees. How trees are helping us, or how we are indebted to the trees. So this mantra says, a pond is equal to 10 wells, a reservoir is equal to 10 ponds, a sun is equal to 10 reservoirs, and a tree is equal to 10 suns. So how important the tree is in our life. This is the mantra which speaks about the importance. And it is true that if there are no trees, our life will not go longer. We further will discuss that how trees are part of our life and how they help us in our existence even. When we talk about the tree, we consider the trees and plants as divine. So again, Rig Veda tells, there are many mantras, but two of them I will refer here. Rig Veda says in the 6th mandal, Ma Kakambiram Udvraho Vanaspatim Ashastirvi Hininashah Motasuro Aha Eva Cha Griva Adhadate Vehe. Simple meaning is that do not cut trees because they remove pollution. So Rigveda says that one should not destroy the trees. I remember in another mantra which is not here, it is said that if we have to cut a tree for some reason, let's say we are constructing a temple, which is a good cause. So if there are many trees and we have to cut, so cut the trees as minimum as possible. And if we cut one tree, we have to plant 10 more trees. That's the way the ecology should be balanced. In Atharva Veda, it is said, Ashwatho Deva Sadanaha Tartiyasyanito Divi Tatramrutasya Chakshanam Deva Kushtam Vanvata. The people tree, Ashwatha is the people tree, is the permanent seat of God. And the second line it says, Tatra Amritasya Chakshanam Deva Kushtam Avanvata. Meaning is that the leprosy can be treated by the nectar of Ashwatha tree. It is part of the mantra is from Atharva Veda. In my childhood, there are certain days when my mother used to go and do worshipping of Ashwatha tree or people tree, people and also banyan tree. So in the picture also you can see that we used to tie some thread, sacred thread around that, and you worship the tree. There is a very beautiful concept to preserve the trees. They said that there is presence of God in tree, and especially in the Ashwatha or people tree, it is firmly believed that there is presence of Lord Vishnu. So if there is presence of Lord Vishnu, you cannot cut it because you have to pay your respect to God. So to preserve, this was the idea. Another thing that in our childhood, probably you might have heard also, sometimes our parents or grandparents, they used to say that don't go to jungle or don't go to this tree. For example, imli tree, like tamarind tree, or ashwatha, the people tree, because there is a ghost. The ghosts live on this tree. So out of fear or out of respect, both are the approaches to preserve the trees or ecology. Can you believe that if we go and cut all the trees, how can we get the oxygen? Because trees, we receive oxygen, we release the carbon dioxide. And the trees, they take carbon dioxide, but they release oxygen. So to preserve them, there was this concept that divinity lives in there and we worship the tree. Some of the trees and plants, I would say, they are giving us life, or they are used as vanaspati, or you can say aushadhi. In other way, it is like the medicinal plant. So some of these are like shatam vo ambadhamani sahasramutavo ruhaha adhashata kritvo yuyamimam me agadam krita. Rigveda 10th mandal speaks about these plants, that, oh mother, mother means the earth is there and the plants are grown on that. So plants, hundreds are your birthplaces and thousands are your shoots. O medicines of 100 actions, please cure me. For example, some of the nectars, some of the medicinal plants are, we are familiar with them, like tulsi plant. Tulsi is the holy basil, and neem tree, then aloe vera, and amla, the Indian gooseberry. So these are medicinal plant. Neem tree, people tree, tulsi tree, aloe vera, they're so important part of our life that if we remove these three, our lifespan will be reduced and we cannot sustain it for a long time. They are the source of oxygen and also the medicinal effect. They are having curing effect. That's why we are praying to these trees to cure us. Then further, if we come to the next part, like earth, water, and then the trees, how we worship them. People, let me tell you a little bit more about this tree. When we talk about the people tree, it is also known as Bodhi tree. And people tree is known for its medicinal properties, and it is used in Ayurvedic medicines for treating varieties of diseases like asthma, diabetes, skin diseases. It is said that the leaves of the people tree are rich in vitamin and minerals, and the bark of people tree has anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties. And Ashwatha tree, people in Sanskrit call Ashwatha. Ashwatha, A means not, Shwa means tomorrow, Tha means stay, that which will not stay till tomorrow. That is called Ashwatha. And this word comes in Bhagavad Gita also. Ashwatha Prahu Avyayam, the tree of life. So it is the symbol of ever expanding universe. When we say Ashwatha is ever expanding universe, the symbol. In Bhagavad Gita, we chant this shloka or the verse, Urdhva Moolam Adha Shakham Ashwatham Prahu Avyayam. And in the 10th chapter also, in Bhagavad Gita, it comes Ashwatha Sarva Vrakshanam. Lord is telling that among all the different trees, I am the people tree. So it gives the more importance on the people tree. In addition to its medicinal properties, the people tree is also known for its environmental benefits. People tree is an excellent air purifier, and it helps to remove pollutants from the air. The tree also helps to prevent soil erosion and provides a habitat for birds and other wildlife. Our ancestors knew that it generates oxygen day and night, making it vital to maintain the ecological balance by associating this tree with divine power. So our ancestor made sure that people tree never cut or damaged in any way. Similarly, neem tree. Neem is margosa, the bitter neem. Neem is also synonymous with the health benefits. The neem tree also purifies the air at night by emitting oxygen. It is thought that neem should be planted inside the house especially in the center of the courtyard of the house. And the fact is scientifically true, as it acts as the natural pesticide. So neem is good for treating skin diseases and diabetes. And in our ashram, sometimes we take this fresh neem leaves, green neem leaves, before we start our breakfast. And it is very good medicine for the diabetes. Also, skin diseases are treated with neem leaves, or where we keep the neem leaves, mosquitoes will not come. Similarly, if you talk about another beautiful or important plant which is part of our culture, it is tulsi plant or holy basil. So tulsi is regarded as the avatar or incarnation of Mother Lakshmi. Tulsi has been used for thousands of years to support a healthy response to physical, emotional, and environmental stress. Modern research has classified tulsi as an important herb known to support the body's healthy stress response. Tulsi is also antibiotic, and if a person consumes basil every day, like 5 tulsi leaves every day, that person can live a long and healthy life, as the plant prevents disease and stabilizes health. Moreover, the fragrance of tulsi also repels mosquitoes and other insects. It is also believed that snakes do not come near the tulsi plant. That's why our ancient people used to plant tulsi near their houses or inside the courtyard. Tulsi is also very good for cold effects, cough, and some respiratory diseases. Or tulsi is also very useful for the problems related to the nervous system. And just to tell you that some of these plants are also used as a remedy in Vedic astrology. So we recommend some remedies related to these plants, which are caused by the planets or which have direct connection with the internal organs. So some scientific benefits of this tulsi plant, I'll tell you that tulsi plants helps in relieving fever, headache, cough, sore throat, cold, flu, and even the chest congestion. It is also beneficial in treating respiratory ailments like chronic bronchitis or asthma. Tulsi is detoxifying, cleansing, and purifying agent. Therefore, it is good for the skin. Tulsi also helps relieve stress because it is directly related to our nervous system and also immunity. It increases immunity and it facilitates proper digestion. Tulsi can be used as the raw, some leaves before we take food or breakfast, if you have tulsi plant, or nowadays it is very common to use the tea. So the dried leaves as in the form of tea, one can use tulsi. Tulsi is also used as a paste. However, so we always pray to the plants that these plants which are giving us life or increasing our life, curing diseases. That's why the plants and trees, they are part of our culture and we have to preserve them. Now let's talk about another aspect. Very often you might have seen in India that people worship cows. Sometimes you're a cow worshipper. But have you ever thought that why do we worship cow? Number one, we consider cow not as an animal. Cow for us is not animal, cow is mother. But why we say cow is mother? So let me give you some facts about this. And you will be surprised to know that our master Guruji, Shri Guruji, is associated with some organization who are protecting the cows, indigenous cows. So let's talk about this. Why cow is the mother? So in one of the scripture it is said, Bhuktva tranani shushkani pitva toyam jalashayat dugdham dadati lokebhyo gavo vishwasya matarah. Cow eats dry grass, drinks water from pond, and gives milk for all. Therefore, cow is the mother of universe. Cow does not demand anything, but it gives. It gives nectar like milk and all the milk products. And what does she eat? Nothing, just some dry grass. In the Veda, it is said, Sarve Deva Sthita Dehe Sarva Deva Maihi Gauhu. In the cow, all the deities are present. Therefore, cow represents all the different forms of divinity. And in the Puranas, there's complete description that in which part of the body of the cow, which deity is present. So you can see in the picture also, all the 3.3 million deities are existing in cow. That's why we worship cow. And you know, I had visited here in California sometimes, and there are many goshalas, like cow sheds, where they keep the indigenous cow, Indian cow, and people who are stressful, they are allowed to come, they hug the cows, and their stress and all these anxiety or all mental problems, they get rid of that and they are benefited. So it's a new trend that people have recognized now, that how cow is very useful to give us good health. So people hug here and they pay money for that. Why cow is the mother of universe? We say Gavo Vishwasya Matarah. The simple few reasons I can tell you. The cow helps in organic farming with oxen and cow dung for fertilizer. So nowadays, because we have all these advanced machineries for farming, but in the ancient time, the oxen, they were used for tilling and for farming, and the cow dung is the best fertilizer. Now we are using all these chemical fertilizer which have spoiled our earth. The quality of soil is completely gone. But if we have to revive it, we have to go back to this organic farming and using the cow dung to revitalize these forces of nature in the soil. And cow dung used for biogas fuel to cook. And many plants are there. They're using this cow dung as a biogas fuel for cooking. And you know, very important aspect I'll tell you, that today we are talking about recycling because of we are bothered because of the plastic use. We created a problem and now we are having a trouble because everywhere we are just filling up the trash, or even in the ocean, rivers, we are polluting and dumping all these plastics. Thank God that in many states, many places, they are conscious and they are not using any more plastic. But still, when we talk about the recycle system, if we dump plastic, it will take 500 years or more than 500 years to decompose. But think, in any, suppose we are cooking some food, some vegetables, fruits, the peels, we are just throwing it away, but it will still take some time for decomposition. But just look at the cow. Especially in India, we feed the cow whatever fruits, vegetables or leftover is there, we just feed it. And in just one day, 24 hours maximum, everything is coming out of the system from the cow's stomach, and it is the best composed in the form of cow dung. We can never find any machine or any system which can recycle in this short period of time, let's say 24 hours. So cow is the best recycle system to make compost in one day. And the cow products are nectar, which cure many diseases like the milk, yogurt, and butter, the clarified butter, ghee, which we use for our fire ceremony also. All these are called nectar, and there is called the 5 nectars, Panchagavya. It's a cure for many diseases, and for purification, we use these cow products. Then every part of cow is useful, even after death. The skin, the intestine, everything is having some usage for us. The ghee is the clarified butter produced from the cow, is used to perform fire ceremony, which is a system to balance ecology. Very often you might have seen in ashrams, we perform fire ceremony. So for that we need the pure ghee, clarified butter, and we use mostly from the indigenous cow because that is pure. So cow is the mother of universe. Now, now if we think about other aspects, like other forces of nature, they're like fire and air. Air also we are getting free of cost because we are breathing constantly, and without this air we cannot live. And air or breath, it is said in Upanishad that breath is God. So Rig Veda again tells about some of the forces of nature to worship as divinity, and they are known as different gods. So a very common mantra which is quoted very often in interfaith or religious forums, but that ekam sat vipra bahudha vadanti, but only one line it's quoted, but in what context it is said in Rig Veda, I'll tell you today. The mantra, actually the complete mantra in Rig Veda, first mandala is Indram Mitram Varunam Agnim Ahuratho Divya Sa Suparno Garutman Ekam Sat Vipra Bahudha Vadanti Agni Yamam Matarishwanam Ahu. The various powers of the Supreme, which are sun, rain, water, fire, air, etc., are themselves known as deities. And who are the deities? Indra, Mitra, Varuna, Agni, Garutmat, Yama, and Matarishwa. But he is only one. So we talk about these different deities, which are none but the forces of nature. Although we see these different forms, but they are just representing the one formless divinity. And therefore, according to their qualities, deeds, and nature, worship that supreme. So, Ekam Satra Sat Vipra Bahudha Vadanti, very often it is quoted like truth is one, and all this people or wise people, they speak about the truth in various ways, or they interpret in many different ways. But it is actually, the mantra is referring to different powers of nature, which are Indra, Mitra, Varuna, etc. It's not about the religion, because at that time when this mantra was revealed in Rig Veda, there were no religions existing. So it's not that all religions speak of the same truth, which is just a inference. But actual mantra speaks about the various powers of nature, although they are manifested, but they are none but representing the same formless. So God is one, but God manifests in many ways, or different forms, you can say. So what are the Vedic rules for usage of natural resources? Because today we are exploiting the nature, and that's why we are in trouble. So the Vedic rules are that all elements are interconnected. So polluting any one element will automatically affect the other elements. Suppose if we are polluting the earth, putting too much of fertilizers while farming, and every day we are using so much chemicals for washing the clothes, for washing the dishes, and all these chemicals is going into the earth. So what is happening? It is polluting the underground water. Same time, these poisonous gases which form, they pollute the air, and space cannot be polluted, but air. So if we pollute one element, it affects the other element. So we have to be really careful in our usage, on day-to-day usage. Then have a reverential attitude towards water and treat it like your mother. You must have heard from Shri Guruji that he says, when people ask him that, do you drink tea or coffee? He said, no, I take the mother's milk, a natural milk. So which milk? Mother Earth's milk. What is that? It is the milk of Mother Earth is water. So use water carefully without wasting it. I'll give one tip here, because Suresh Baba mentioned about Vedic astrology. In Vedic astrology, we have one planet. We have 9 planets in the horoscope, and one of them is Moon. Moon represents the water element. Mars represents the earth element. So when Moon in the horoscope is weak or afflicted by some malefic planet, then we get some mental problems like anxiety, depression, stress, and many things, all related to mind. And Moon, because it represents the water element, sometimes in the horoscope, the Moon is not afflicted, but we make it bad. We spoil our Moon, even if it is good. You know how? Because when we are using water, we should be careful not to waste it. Suppose we are brushing the teeth. So we open the tap and the water is continuously flowing. So we are wasting the resources. In this way, we are creating our Moon as bad. Means it originally it may not be bad, it may not be afflicted, but because it is related to that element, wasting water means creating problem for our Moon and then for our mind. This is just a practical tip related to Vedic astrology and Vastu. We are taking shower, but we are using water less, but we are wasting a lot. So let's be careful. Then the rule is keep water always pure. Know that water is the basis of all purity, both internal and external. When we do puja or some ceremony in our ashrams, so before we start the real puja, we purify the sense organs, we purify the mind, we purify 3 aspects of divinity. And there you might have observed that we sip water with mantra, Om Atma Tattvaya Swaha, Om Vidya Tattvaya Swaha, Om Shiva Shakti Tattvaya Swaha, to purify. So internal and external purity is with water. The best way to purify the atmosphere is to grow and nurture the trees, because trees will ensure that the atmosphere will remain pure. As we discussed that the trees, they absorb carbon dioxide, they release oxygen, and neem, people, these are known to release oxygen 24 hours, even when we are sleeping. That's why putting a neem tree, putting a tulsi tree is always recommended, so that we always get purified air. So use land resources in limited and controlled manner. So this is the natural law or rule. The golden rule of economics has always been, what you take must be returned, and whatever you return shall again come back to you. So this is a complete cycle. If we break this cycle, if we disturb the balance of ecology, then not only our life is affected, but also the quality and the lifespan both are affected, but also we are disrespecting God. So if we use something, we have to replenish it. In modern time, unfortunately, the some places or some countries we hear or see that there is flood, so too much water, because the cycle of this ecology is not balanced. We have disturbed it, exploitation, and some places there is no water for drinking. I was in month of April, I was in Colombia, and there I saw first time that the drinking water supply from the city is for one day, maybe in 2 weeks, they stop for one day. Same thing in Brazil, same thing in India, and many other countries. We are finding that the drinking water or underground water, groundwater level is depleted. So in next 50 years, we are going through a crisis. The reason is that the rainwater is there, but we are not able to preserve it because the use of plastic, use of all this concrete, the water is not percolating deeper into the ground. So the groundwater level is depleting and we are not able to replenish it. And now people are thinking about some preservation of water, rainwater. So they are preserving it and using it, but that's the best way. However, we should remember that this nature is nature. This nature is God. Whatever we see, we perceive, it is not a separate entity, but it is all presence of God, and we should live in harmony with nature. And that is the perspective of Veda or Vedic teachings, that this creation, this nature, the environment, it is all one unit. Another thing I'll tell you, one of the plants, I have seen in many houses, we keep some orchids. So these orchids are also very useful inside the house, we see, because they absorb the toxins or the gases, poisonous gases, they can absorb it. That's why we keep it inside the house. However, the trees, water, earth, all these, or the animals also part of our ecology. We should serve them, we should save them, we should serve them, preserve them. One of the best practices, I would say, that if we are careful and we want to preserve the ecology, then we should plant more trees. There are some organizations which are taking leads in this, and I also help in India, one of the organization where they are planting neem trees and other trees wherever they find, and some places they are creating rainforest. It is necessary to maintain and preserve the biodiversity. And on some special occasions, we should do that. What I do sometimes, I can suggest you also that whenever you have your birthday, there's no problem in celebrating. You can have a party, you can do whatever you like, but at least plant one tree on your birthday. That will be a great contribution of yours for balancing and preserving the ecology. No matter where you are, but find out some place, find out something where you can do this. So at least once a year when you celebrate your birthday, please plant a tree. We need to do that. Otherwise, this cutting the forest and slowly just creating concrete jungle is not going to help us in long term. However, sometimes we think that we should speak about the spirituality, but spirituality is not different. The environment, the nature is part of our life, and it is our responsibility to preserve it. What is happening out of our greed? We are just using these resources, or I would say that abusing and misusing even the resources of nature, but we are not thinking of replenishing it. It's high time to take the responsibility. Then only we can say we are spiritual. Otherwise, if we do not exist, nothing will nothing will exist. So when we are getting this pure air for breathing continuously, we are getting the water for drinking, all it is from the nature. We are indebted to nature, that is Bhutarina, and we have to pay this loan back to nature. So preserve it and protect it in whatever capacity you are. So this is how the Vedas or Vedic teachings, they tell about the nature, the perspective of Vedic perspective of environment or ecology. As I said in the beginning, that if we disturb the ecology, if we disturb the environment outside, inside also we have the same 5 gross elements. How can we expect good health, happiness, if we cannot maintain this balance? So let us try. Thank you all. I am praying to God and the masters to give us more love, more discipline, better understanding to protect, preserve the nature and connect through the nature to divine. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all become happy and healthy, loving, noble and generous, compassionate. May there be no suffering, no sorrow. May there be more love, peace and harmony among us and in this entire creation. I bow to living presence of God in each one of you. Om. Amen. Thank you all for your valuable time.
Thank you very much, Swamiji. Beautiful discourse. There is one question on the chat. Swamiji, can you please say a little bit about the mantra Pushpanjali, recited in pujas that speak of the various elements and how they are our guide for spiritual progress?
Sure. So I'll give you the idea. At the end of our puja, we always chant Shanti mantra, and the Shanti mantra is to bring peace and balance. So that is part of this talk. Actually, I forgot to share it. So this is the peace invocation. It is from Shukla Yajurveda. It includes the 5 gross elements. So I'll chant the mantra, praying for peace and calmness, balance everywhere. Om Dhyo Shantirantarikshavam Shanti Prithvi Shantirapah Shantiroshadhayah Shanti Vanaspatayah Shantirvishve Devah Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvagvam Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredhi Sarvarstasu Shantirbhavatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It says Om Dhyaho Shanti, Antariksha Shanti, Prithvi Shanti. So it speaks about the 3 regions, like Dhyav, let there be peace on the earth, may there be peace in the heaven, may there be peace in the regions below the earth. We call it Patala. So it includes all 3. Then it says, may there be peace in the Apaha, means water, may there be peace in Prithvi, the earth. Oshadhaya means the plants, herbs. May there be peace in the animals. May there be peace in places. So this is encompassing all the forces of nature, 5 gross elements, as well as the animals, birds, and trees, So all included in this. So what is the basic idea? Let there be peace in all these. So peace, calmness should be there, and let this peace, sarvaristasu shantir bhavatu, everything be peaceful, and let this peace manifest within as well as in the entire cosmos. So this is the mantra we always chant at the end of our puja ceremonies, praying for peace and prosperity for all in this entire creation.
About Om Yadnena Yajnamaya Janta, does that have any significance?
Oh, that is for Pushpanjali.
Right.
So for Pushpanjali, we chant the mantra Om Yagnena Yagnamaya Janta Deva Tani Dharmani Prathamanyasan Tehanakam Mahimana Sachanta Yatra Purve Sadhya Santi Deva. So this is the mantra that Yajnena Yajnamaya Jantadeva. We are offering the flowers. So by the process of Yajna, Yajna means the process by which we know the divinity. Ya and Gya. Gya means to know. So by offering these flowers, we are trying to know the divinity. Tani dharmani prathamanyasan teha nakam. Nakam here is the heaven. Sachante. So it is offering our love in the form of flower, and the basic idea is that the flower represents our heart, our mind, our life. So we are offering these to God. So let these be dedicated to God. That means when we use the sense organs of action and perception, let us perceive divinity through them. And then we also say at the end, Nana Sugandhi Pushpani Yatha Kalad Bhavani Cha Pushpanjalir Maya Datta Grahana Parameshwara. Means, oh God, I'm offering this handful of flowers, Pushpanjali, in my hand. Please accept these offerings, which are obtained, Nana Sugandhi, which have various fragrances, and Yatha Kalod Bhavanicha, in various seasons, whatever we get. So I'm offering these flowers.
Thank you very much, Baba. Ritama, hopefully that answers your question.
Hello, sorry, I'm at an airport. But this is a different mantra. It's a Pushpa mantra and tantric pujas that are done. It's much longer.
Sure, there are different mantras. So this is the Vedic mantra, which is more often used. But there are different mantras at the various different times we also use, but this is most common. So that's why I just mentioned it. But if we said mantra Pushpanjali, it's a very long mantra.
It's a Pushpa mantra. If I may send it maybe to you by email to view it, it's a different one. And it's so beautiful because it talks about every single element. And when one understands it, then one really understands the essence of life.
Yes, yes, ma'am. This is,
I
remember that this mantra which you are talking about, Shri Guruji has mentioned in one of his books.
With the explanations as well?
Yeah, yeah. So please send it to me. And if you have a question, I can reply in that if you need any related to the rhythm or melody or the meaning. So just send it to me by email and I can reply to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Swamiji. I think that concludes our meeting.
Sure, Baba. Thank you all for participating. Hope to see you in the next month in September.